All right, welcome everybody to my presentation today after we went to leadership retreat. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm Tammy Ward. I am the top um, leader in the company worldwide right now, but that rank can be quickly taken. And I am not haughty enough to think that I'm always going to be at the top, but I do work very hard what I do, and I love my job. I love what I do. Um, and this company is simply you're in the right place at the right time. That's purely how I've got to put it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Um, so what is a leader? You want to ask yourself that. These are all things that they kind of, really sat down and made us really think about. So, the definition of a leader is a person who leads or commands a group, organization, or a country. So, a leader, another thing that I read about it that I absolutely loved was this statement down here. A leader, if your actions inspire others to dream more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So, and I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd ever lead a team. I've been in network marketing. I started back in, I want to say it was 91. First started with Alouette Skincare Company. A lot of people that are older may know that company. And well, we had to dress up. It was kind of like Mary Kay. You had to dress up in suits all the time and go do facials on people and things of that notion. I quickly figured out that was not my wheelhouse. It's like, no. So then I got into Tahitian Noni, and we had an amazing business with that. In fact, Scott and I actually gave our home to my mother, who had just recently went through a divorce. We gave her our home with all of our furnishings in it. We bought a truck, brand new truck, a brand new fifth wheel. We loaded our little boys up, who were, let's see, they would have been, I want to say five and 9 at the time, because our youngest was really struggling with health health issues. He was an asthmatic, and he had been in the ICU probably 6 times fighting for his life. His asthma was that bad. In fact, every September we could pretty much count on him being in the hospital because the ragweed was so incredibly bad in Oklahoma. So we did some research, wondered where we could go, and St. George, Utah is where we set out to go. And we lived really close. We lived in St. George for about 3 months and decided to go a little further, more southwest to a little town called Hurricane. It's spelled hurricane, but it is said hurricane. In fact, I was talking to Shelby and Kai about it this past weekend. And we said, we know you live there because you're saying it correctly. But we lived there for about 6 months and decided that we were going to try to make that our home. And Scott's mom got really, really sick, so we ended up back in Oklahoma. Then the leaders in our company became very, very how do I even put it, greedy. They started to sell the downlines. You can't hear, because can everybody hear me? Yeah, they're saying they can hear. It's on your end. So anyway, they started selling downlines, and we were in position to make one of the top ranks. In fact, we were making, I would say my income at that time was about, I want to say about 6,000 a month, and that was back in 2009, I believe. But then when they started doing that, we decided we were out because we weren't about the greed and the money. So we decided to just get on out. And I swore I would never be in another network company again. Well, here I am. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a backstory on me. Leadership. This is a great definition. Kai asked us all, what is leadership? So, leadership, this is a definition that came from one of my mentors just yesterday. And I thought, I've got to share this because this is so spot on. Leadership is when your mission is greater than your capacity, but you stick through it, through the growing pains. And that is exactly, we are all seeing growing pains with this company. If you're new to our company, you may not know where we've come from. But when we started the scanner, we had 4 modules. We had the vitals, we had the comprehensive, we had the inner voice, and we had the Cephi. That was all we had. So now you can see everything that you have in your scanners today. And when we started, the glitches were so bad. Many of us wanted to throw our phones, our devices out the window, but we stuck with it. They got so good that now we have cracked the code with the technology, and there's going to be some amazing information. You've already got a glimpse of it yesterday with Lauren and Kai and their new video. There is more to come, and I can't expound on that, but the company will be giving you a lot more information. Just know that we have definitely cracked the code with devices and with our technology. Our technology is so extremely smart that there's very little reliance on these devices that we have out there. So I'm going to move forward. So how many are there in our company? That was one of the questions I wanted to know. How many distributors do we have? So currently we have 12,000 accounts. Of those 12,000 accounts, half are QLAs, just half. About 25%, and this is really low, you guys, earn enough to cover their subscription. So when I heard that number, I thought, okay, wait a minute. We need to really, as leaders, I want to help each one of you learn how to monetize your devices, your scanners. So we should be all earning enough money to uh, pay for our subscriptions, because really the key is get 3 and yours is free. And how that works, if you are new here and you don't understand that, for every person that is enrolled underneath you, you get $50.40 as commissions on their subscription underneath you. That can be a QLA, that can be a preferred customer that's on auto ship. Auto ship means that they are agreeing to have the subscription monthly. There's really nothing shipped. It's just that they're agreeing to that subscription monthly. So all accounts from August to January 20th of 2021. Does anybody know here what January 20th, 2021 marks, what day that is? I'm just going to let somebody unmute. Anybody know what that date is?
I'm just guessing that that's when they launched the mobile.
That is actually when we launched the company Solex. The mobile had been launched back in 2020. It was actually launched in August of 2020. So when you look at August of 2020 through January of 2021, every one of those accounts are QLAs. So, from here on forward, it's been PCs, retail customers, some QLAs. So that just gives you an idea. We have 12,000 accounts and only half are QLA. So there's about half there that we could convert to QLAs and we would have a much stronger business. All right. So how many scans have been performed? I loved seeing these numbers. So summer of 2021, we performed 2 million scans. By September of 2022, 1 year later, we had done 5 million scans. March of 2023, we're up to 7 million scans, and June of 2023, 8.5 million scans. And up to date, we have done 165,000 PET scans. That's incredible. So I'm just excited about those numbers. All right. Can you see the potential? Who are you targeting? Here are some of the statistics. The forerunners in this industry, which is the health premier industry, or the health and wellness industry are the health decision makers in the family. So are you really getting that? The ones that are in this business right now are typically the health decision makers in the family. 76% are women, 49% are age 35 to 54. 42.7 billion in sales each year in direct sales. 7.3 million are average earners. And this is what blew my mind, guys. The average person in direct sales in our industry, their earnings per year is $5,849. That is low. And when I talked to some of my leaders that were there this past weekend, some of them had been in some network marketing companies. They were earning 2 to 9%. Do you guys realize we earn 45%? That is incredible. It's huge. It's insane. There's not another company out there that you can make that much money. And I say this because what I did when I first started this company that I'm going to tell you is a big no-no. Um, is really, trying to put your eggs in several different baskets. With this company, you're not going to have to worry about that, because if you do everything right, you're going to make more with this company than you could ever make with any other company in the industry. 45%. And then you have your own liftoff bonus, which is 65%. So if you want to work extra hard, you can get out there and you could be making 65% on all sales that you've got coming in. And then the 45% is just residual income, you guys. So you've got an amazing potential here. I can tell you that my average check per year for those people, I'm getting that on a month, you guys. So if you work hard and you set your tone and your pace, you can get there too, and it doesn't take that much effort. All right, so what is your why? This is something you guys really need to dig down deep inside of yourself and ask, what is your why? Every person is a genius. This is something Kai brought out. Every person is a genius. When you think about that, you're going to have people on your team that maybe you're their, connectors. Like I'm a connector. I connect people with other people, and I've got resources, and I'm all about sharing. That's the type of person I am. Maybe you have a genius that is very tech savvy. Maybe you have a genius that can do your group and answer your messages for you. So you need to find out on your team each person's genius. And if you don't know what your genius is, get down into the muck and the mire and start really writing out what you feel like your genius is as a leader. Because each of you that are in this business and you're wanting to build the business, you're a leader, whether you know it or not, but you're on your way to being a leader. I want you guys to duplicate everything that has been before you. I mean, there's several great leaders in this company. And if I don't resonate with you, find a leader that you resonate with and copy what they do. Um, I've built a roadmap. The roadmap is in our QLA group. And if you go into the guides and you follow those guides and you post and you tag people in those guides, your other QLAs, you're going to just expand your business in a way that you have no idea. But you got to follow those guides. So unpack your vision. Do you know what your vision is? Because if you do, unpack it for the world to see. Don't keep it hidden. All right. Who is your target audience? What is your niche? Your niche. So when Kai and Shelby both spoke on this, and then we had a couple of leaders get up and talk about, if you are building a business on social media, which a lot of us are, um, you want to get specific about who you're targeting. Are you broadly posting? Now I'm going to tell you, as a leader, as your leader, if you're here with me, I have broadly posted, and it made me really think, oh, I need to drill down on what my niche is. So who do you work with? Who's your target customer? Who's your ideal customer? Who is your ideal leader? Who do you want to work with? Is it energy workers? Is it moms with kiddos at home. Who is it that you want to work with? How much money do they make? Why is that important? Because you need to know, do they need to make extra money, or are they set and can they just be an exponential leader? What do they like to do? What is their hobbies? What are the things that they enjoy doing with family? You really want to drill down on who your target market is. All right. Social media formula. And I have talked about this in my social media training, but this is something the company also brought out. You want to do an opportunity post one time a week. That's a business opportunity post one time a week. That's it. If you go more than that, you become, kind of spammy. Product post 2 times a week. It can be just very vague, but just a product post. Your story. Be vulnerable, be authentic once a week. Lifestyle posts. That means, things that you go and do with your family. Maybe it's your exercise routine. Just a little bit about you. What is your lifestyle like 4 to 5 times a week? And why do we do that so much? Is because so that people can get to know us as a person. And then add 2 to 5 friends daily. If you will make that a habit every day to add a couple of friends, you're going to grow your audience. So that's the formula. Challenge for 30 days. This is my challenge. This is also the company's challenge. They said to narrow down our platform. So if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, bring it down to one platform for 30 days. Focus on the one person that you're communicating with and the one product on one platform. Just try that. I promise you, you will see an expansion in your business. I have been into several different things, but about 6, 8 months ago, I decided Solex was my home. You need to decide with all these different opportunities out there, where's your home? Because if you're focusing on many different things, you're getting away from your focus, which should be one company, one platform, and one person that you're trying to reach. Does that make sense? Any questions on there?
No, that's perfect. And I appreciate this as well because I've done the similar adjusting in my own life, and Solex is my home. And
Yeah.
I'm looking for the people who want this to be their home.
I am in the same boat, Sheila. In fact, I had opportunities where I could make quite a bit of money with some different companies, and I did. But I noticed that when I posted about one company and then I posted about another company, people were confused about what I was offering. Okay. And they would see the one product and go, is that with Solex? And I'm like, I don't know, that's a different company. So then when I got to really thinking about my own situation and what I was doing, because honestly, your the leaders are what kind of set the pace, and I was setting the pace that it was okay to do different things. Now as a practitioner, we will have some different companies that we resonate with and that we actually represent, but are you focusing on them? Is that your home? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Where's my home? Where's my focus going to be? And I quickly decided my income, my passion, all of it came from Solex. So that is where I am focusing on, because honestly, you guys, there's no one at the top yet. You realize that there are 4 ranks above me. I've not reached the top. I'm a pearl. I'm the top of the company right now, but there's 4 more levels, you guys, and we're going on our 3rd year. So January of 2024 will be starting our year number 4. And you are in a sweet spot. So if you want to be financially free, this is a company you need to focus on. All right. So that's your challenge for 30 days. One platform, focus on who you're targeting, and remember, your energy matters. And I had done this probably when my sponsor got terminated. I actually worked with an energy healer who cleared my Facebook, and she actually did some muscle testing to figure out who on my Facebook friends list was the negative energy, or that was following me yet but sending negative energy all the time. We cleaned out probably, I would say, 60 or 7 people on my Facebook. So that was quite a big thing. I cleared those people, and do you know I had a huge expansion in my business in the months to follow. So find an energy clearer or an energy worker, somebody that can clear your Facebook profile or whatever profile you're using. If you use TikTok, if you use Instagram, whatever it be, clear your profile. Also, clear yourself and set your intention daily. If you're not doing like a weekly practice with that, your business is going to suffer. So really set that intention. You might think it's off, but I promise you it's not. It's all about energy.
Can I make it a target?
Say again.
Can I make it a target?
Sure can.
Awesome.
You sure can. Now, and then the next thing you want to do is you want to evaluate everything so far. What works? What isn't working? What is your brand? What sets you apart? Are you selling? Are you pressuring? Or are you giving a choice? And you want to be that person out there that actually gives a choice. And this phrase right here, this one was like a gut punch to me, because I was thinking, I wonder what people say about you when you leave the room. That is your brand. That is your brand. You think about it. Just think about it. What are people saying about you when you leave the room? That is who you are. That's your character. That's your brand. And if you're not leaving a good positive impression, go through your Facebook. Have somebody go through your Facebook. Have them scroll through your profile and let them really give you a good criticism about it. We all handed our phones over to the one next to us and said, "Here's my Facebook profile. Tell me where I'm going wrong." And it was eye-opening. So, if you need some help with that, message me. I'm happy to look at your profile, and I can tell you where to pull it in. So be real, be authentic, set the intention when you post. It matters, you guys. So are you broad? Are you real broad with how you're speaking to people? You really need to narrow that down. Who are you trying to reach? Put that in your post. If it's like with me, kids with autism, that is my niche. That is what I'm going to really be focusing on, because that's what I've been through. I've been through kids, two of my children. The first one had a vaccine injury. The second one was a birth trauma. So, and my second one actually has some learning disabilities because of what he went through. And as a homeschooler, I have a very deep passion for kids with autism on the spectrum who've been vaccine, damaged. Birth trauma, you name it, medically injured is who I'm targeting. So that's who you need to reach out to, then that's what you post about. So I hope that helps. So the other thing, I wanted to show y'all a book on the why. Um, they shared this book with us, and they gave it to us. So can y'all see the title of that? It's Start with Why, and it's by Simon Sinek. And I'll put that in the chat. But get that book, read it. It is about a 230-page book, but I'll put it in the chat. So inspire others to be better. Say I am. So that is another thing that they shared with us. You guys saw my plaque. I am diamond. So put your mindset there. I put that on my Facebook, and you wouldn't believe the amount of people that congratulated me because they thought I'd reached diamond already. I hadn't reached it yet. It's the mindset you put out there. Build the $1 million brand before you are one. So, oops, I misspelled that. Should say one. So, are you a diamond? Are you a leader? Then say that you are and really believe that, and it's going to come through in your business. Why do you do the business with Solex? You need to ask yourself that. Why are you passionate about the AO scanner? What is your mantra? Inspire others with your why. So this is how you're going to be an amazing leader. So write your, it should be your why everywhere. If you focus on your why, do your daily process, and always work your business every day, you are going to fly with this company. That was the end of my presentation. I'm going to open it up for any questions. Next week, I'm going to actually cover a little bit more in depth on, how to get to the leadership status. Um, I'm gonna show you some of the formulas that I have used in my business. And as an announcement, I told everybody I'm launching something. I am going to be launching a Monday business opportunity call, so that this will be a call that you can bring your interested ones in. This will be a call where we, inspire people to get their businesses going. So if you want to build a business with this company, I am going to open Mondays for a business opportunity call. We'll have guest speakers, we'll have other people in the business on those calls, so that you guys can kind of see the pulse and the where we're moving with this company. So I'm going to open it up to any questions. You guys can ask me anything. I'll share with you anything that I can share. Ask away.
Tammy, what level do I have to be on to get paid from my second level? So I have people on I call it my first level, and then they have people, and then they have people. So what do I have to be to get paid for those people? Or do I ever?
I'm actually gonna run a report, and I'm gonna start focusing on everybody in my directs, and I'm gonna let you know where you're at, where you need to go, how you can, get a greater return on your investment in your business. And I'll do that with each of you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That
Thank
is
you.
also my plan, is to work with everybody in my downline and help them level up to where they need to be. Because you kind of, I've been just doing this organically, just kind of going with the flow. But I think if you have a plan, you at least you can do something with it. So that is what I'm going to work on those Mondays as well.
Thank you.
Hmm. Any other questions? Anything that I can expand on? Let me put in this while we're chatting. Start.
You've really got my brain going about the branding and what people say when I leave the room.
Yep.
It seems like it's always that I'm an encourager, I'm a good teacher, I'm sweet, I'm excited. How do you brand that?
Well, uh, I'm kind of along with you, Sherry, because I get told that all the time too. Is you're such an amazing teacher, and you're just so kind, and go with it. Run with that. Always educate. So if you're an educator, educate on your Facebook page. Start with that, doing an education post, maybe 3 times a week. That way you're building your audience for that. And then when it comes time to train one-on-one for the scanner, you've got it down pat.
Okay, well, that's what I'm doing already
Oh,
naturally. So, yay!
yeah. Alice, I meant. I'm sorry. I was looking
That's
at
okay.
somebody else. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Can't hear you, dear. Can't hear you. You're breaking up. Okay, someone in the chat, Stephanie, love the starter kits. Can you explain no devices in the packages and what you're encouraging people to get? Okay, for those of you on this call, I'm going to stop the recording because this is not known information.